Well, good morning, everyone. Yes, I'm going to be completely done with trying to figure out what time of day this video is being aired. I rode way harder than I should have for a unsanctioned bicycle race, but it was a lot of fun. Let's just go. Let's get to it. You are here to witness the vicious cycle. This event is held at the U.S. National Whitewater Center. They have about 50 miles of trail. First, let me go over the format because this is an odd race. It is not your typical see how many laps you can do in 12 hours. That's another reason I wanted to do it. It's different. So let's go over the format. So this race is going to be done by a team of one, which actually wouldn't be a team of two, or a team of four. You can technically sign up with 3 people, but you're going to be in the 4-man category. So what makes this so different is it is a punch card system. I actually really enjoyed this system. It kind of ensured that people couldn't cut the course. You have punch cards that must be carried by the active rider. So you have to complete every course at least once. Each course has a different rating. So as the courses get more difficult, the points increase. So it is not necessarily about how many miles you can get in. This is more about strategizing how many points you can get in 12 hours. And next, before we get to the event, I have to introduce you to my team. We chose the team name, as Casey was calling it all day, Isa Sledgehammer.
What kind of bike do you have?
It's a sledgehammer.
Lucky?
Alongside myself, of course, you have met Keith. He is the owner of BSG Cat 1 mountain bike racer and one of my best friends. Kira has been hanging around the bike shop for far too long. She raced for Belmont Abbey College and can rip on a freaking mountain bike. Then we come to my longtime friend, the infamous Casey. Let me tell you something. Casey used to be super quick on a mountain bike. It could suffer like no one else I've ever met. She took some time off from racing because she had 2 wonderful little girls, but she has now come back and she wants to start racing again. I think people come back slowly, right? You know, like take your time. It might take her a couple years before she does her first race. No, it was like 2 months into getting back on the bike. She was racing Cat 1 again, and she has been working her butt off. There is no co-ed category in this, so we entered the open category. Our plan going into this event, though, I was going to be the first person out because I love a mass start. That means I had to be on the bike at 7 in the morning, in the dark, in the cold. It was way colder than I thought.
Before you come to the judges station.
What's up, buddy? Good, how are you?
All right, folks, we're going to start in about 10 seconds until we kick off vicious cycle. We are going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
I got back first before most people, and I was super proud. I averaged over 13 miles an hour in the dark, in the cold, with a minimal warm-up, so I was expecting to hover around 12. The most I've ever actually averaged out there is about over 14, a little over 14, and I didn't feel like I put in that big of an effort. Like, I knew this was a 12-hour event, so I felt good. I got my punches, got back in quick. I did the south trails. That was a lot easier than trying to hammer the blues, so we opted to not do the blue trail anymore.
Awesome.
Good job, Cameron. I'm gonna go get ready.
Okay.
You're going south, right?
Yeah, that's red, right? Right. Hopefully. Good. As soon as I got back, we sent Casey out. So Casey knocked out a south trail, which is worth 6 points, and a lake loop, which is worth like 2 points. So that was our plan, was to really knock out everything, leave east for last, and then we were just gonna rotate and do east after east after east. So our first candidate to actually hit the East Trail was Kira, aka Curbs. Woo! Go Curbs! She did pretty good. She put in a solid, I think it was an hour, 10 minutes for the East Trail. So once Kira got in, it was time for Keith to go. This point in the day, our strategy goes to Keith was going to hit 2 laps in a row of East. As soon as he gets back, I'm gonna do 2 laps in a row of East, and then we're all just gonna take turns doing singles as hard as we can hit it. I was getting a little bit worried because we were falling behind. Keith put in 2 really good laps. His second lap was actually faster than his first lap. So after Kira finished her single lap of East, she was not actually feeling that great, and she wasn't looking all that good. Don't worry, it's not the vid. She was tested twice after this. She ended up sitting out the rest of the race and coming down with actually a pretty bad head cold and pink eye, which definitely threw a wrench in our plans, but what are you gonna do? That's life, and I'm just glad that she didn't try to push through it because she's sick for like a week and a half after. I could only imagine if she would have kept racing. I've made that mistake before. Let's not do it again. So once Keith finished with his couple of laps, it was my turn. I was going to do a double. This is going to be my second double. At this point, we're just doing East. East is the most amount of points. You get 12 points per lap completed, and it's taking a lot of people around an hour to complete these laps. So we decided to focus on that. It was me, Keith, and Casey at this point. Yes, please. Can you open it? Awesome. Excuse me. Come on. So in hindsight, I think we really should have only done one double apiece because our fourth laps really suffered, mine and Keith. I think once you get that many miles in your legs, it starts to hurt. I mean, by the end of the day, I had raced over 50 miles, and that's just me racing that much. And this is such a different effort when you're doing a race like this. I think it's almost easier if you're doing a race where it's just, you're doing this solo for 12 hours because you can just get into your zone in your brain and just pedal. You don't have to race hard. But in an event like this, every single time you go out, you have to go as hard as you can, but you also want to recover enough to where you're not going to blow up at mile 45. For me anyway, it's a lot harder to manage these efforts than it is just sitting out there and riding for hours and hours and hours.
Yeah, Cameron!
And after I finished my 2 back-to-backs on the East Trail, Casey went out for her East lap with a targeted 1 hour lap time.
Yeah!
I love her. Love her.
When she would return, our plan was to send Keith out for his second double with me standing by in between his 2 laps just in case he needed a break or needed food or bonked or whatever. We just wanted a backup plan since Kira was sitting this out. This race was so much closer than I ever anticipated. Keith was setting a pretty good time. He did not need me to go out, so we had it mapped out to where we were essentially one south loop, one 6-point loop ahead of third place. We knew for a fact Casey could complete a south loop in about 40 minutes. So the objective here, when Keith got back, it was getting really down to the wire. You had to be back in by 7. If you were over at like 7:02, none of the points counted for the lap that you were currently doing. So I wanted to give Casey plenty of freaking time to be able to complete one south lap. If she could just do one south lap, we ensured second place. But she had to be back in by 7. So I wanted to bare minimum give her 50 minutes because the first time she did it was a 40. She's got a lot of miles in her legs at this point. So I wanted to equate for her to have a slower lap time. That's only natural, right? So Keith got back around, I want to say it was 5:18-ish, 5:20. If I got back in 1 hour, that would leave Casey 40 minutes on the nose. So she would have to be faster than she was previously. So I wanted to destroy myself on this lap. I wanted to give her as much time as possible. I wanted her to have bare minimum 50 minutes. So I ripped it as hard as I could. I emptied my tank because this was my last lap. This was all I could give. Up on your right. Good job, buddy. Let's stay on your left here. Thanks, buddy. Whew, that was tough, but I was super proud because that was my fastest East lap. My last lap on East was my fastest. I blistered it for me. And it gave Casey, I want to say she had 50 minutes on the nose to finish this thing, and she immediately went out. She had the headlight on because it was starting to get dark, and all we could do was wait. I knew she had it in her. I knew she could do it. I knew she wasn't going to lose 10 minutes in a single lap, but I was very scared that something could happen to, like, she could get a flat tire. Any kind of mechanical can lose that ground, and if she did not complete this lap, the people that were in third were already out doing the south lap. They were going to come back in and try to go out for a lake, get those couple extra points. So if Casey didn't get back, we had lost second place. So we waited and waited and waited.
I got my L and I got my...
And holy crap, Casey made it in the nick of time. It was 6:55 when she rolled in, so 5 minutes to spare. I was glad she didn't cut it any more close because I was, biting my nails waiting on her to get back. And after 12 hours of racing, we'll say 3.5-man team, sorry Kira, we came in second overall out of more than 20 teams in an open category. I am super proud of them two for beating all the guys because I think we were the only team in the top 10 that maybe had 2 girls on our team. Not only did we get in the top 10, we were second overall. Honestly, I think we could have potentially won that because first place only beat us by a handful of points. It was down to the wire, and that's what made it fun. That's what makes these 12-hour races. If events like this, man, they are more fun than winning, I would say, an individual championship. I've won the Cane Creek Cup a couple of times in the past in the category that I was racing. Nothing beats the feeling of racing for your team with some of your best friends, supporting them, and then coming out with a podium. That's a very good feeling. And I was super proud of everyone and how they rode. It was a lot of fun, and I enjoyed it. Good job, everybody. I appreciate how well the event was put on. I have done races at the Whitewater Center in the past that I did not think were done super well. Maybe they're getting their footing with the mountain bike portion of it, but this one was ran exquisite. I couldn't have asked for a better run event. Thank you all for joining me. Please like and subscribe if you do like the races. I will keep doing them. So I love you all. I will see you in the next few videos. It's getting close to Christmas. That's crazy. Bye bye.